So, hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss the non-isothermal reactor, and in non-isothermal reactor, I will be discussing the energy balance in continuous state tank reactor. We don't need to, calculate or balance the energy in isothermal reactor. Okay. When it comes to the non-isothermal reactor, there we used to, the balance the energy to calculate the outlet temperature or the temperature of the reaction mixture after a particular time, or how much amount of energy that is going to required for the for a particular chemical reaction which is taking place in the continuous state tank reactor or plug flow reactor. But here I am going to discuss about the continuous state tank reactor in this lecture only. Okay. In the next lecture, I will be discussing about the plug flow reactor. So try to understand the concept. So just if you will see, I am just going to denote pictorially. This is a continuous stir tank reactor. This is a continuous stir tank reactor. You all know about the basic things of the continuous stir tank reactor. Why the name is continuous stir tank reactor, my dear student? The reason behind that is the process variable which is placed, the process variable inside the reactor will be same. If the process temperature here is temperature T, then the temperature here the temperature will be also T, here the temperature will be also T, here the temperature will be also T. That's it. If the concentration, that point is concentration is C, here concentration will be also C, here the concentration will be also C. Means throughout the reactor, inside the reactor, the process variable, that is either temperature, pressure, or the concentration, anything, that will be the same. That's why it is known as the continuous stir tank reactor. First thing. Second thing is that what's happening here, due to the continuous stirring, the process variable is same. So we generally assume whenever we used to discuss about the continuous stir tank reactor, the process variable inside the reactor, that is equals to the process variable at the outlet of the reactor. Okay, if the temperature of the reactor or reaction mixture is T, then the temperature at the outlet will be also T. That you need to understand. First thing. Second thing is that, let's suppose if the reaction which is taking place inside the continuous stir tank reactor, A is getting converted into V, where A is reactant and B is product. Try to understand one thing. Here the molar flow rate of A, that is going to be inlet, is Fi naught, I am assuming it, and it is going into the reactor at a temperature of T naught. That means the inlet temperature of the reaction mixture or the reactant A, that is T naught. Okay, and I am just assuming the temperature of the the temperature of the CSTR inside the CSTR is T. That you have to understand, that you have to suppose. Already I have supposed this, that my temperature inside the reactor is T, that is equals to outside of the reactor, outlet of the reactor, and inlet temperature is T naught. First thing. Second thing is that if delta H naught of R, that is equals to enthalpy of reaction. Delta H naught of R, that is equals to enthalpy of reaction. Just try to understand one thing, my dear student. This is the basic things already you all have studied in class 12th standard. I think I don't need to discuss this, but just try to understand the basic things of how we can define the enthalpy of reaction. Means if the reactant A is getting converted into B, then definitely there must be an enthalpy change. Means enthalpy means energy. There must be an energy change. Means the energy of A will be different from the energy of B. Means either the energy of A will be greater than, or energy of B will be greater than. That depends on the reaction. Okay, let's try to understand. If so, you can define the enthalpy of reaction delta H of R. I am assuming generally the standard enthalpy of reaction delta H naught of R, that is equals to enthalpy of product B minus enthalpy of product A. Means you can define it as energy or enthalpy of product B minus enthalpy of reactant A. Means you can write it as energy of product minus, general you can write it energy of reactant, generally product minus reactant. Now try to understand, if delta H naught of R, this will be the standard energy. Generally we will be taking the standard energy if nothing is given. Delta H naught of R, that is equals less than 0, then This reaction is, my dear student, exothermic reaction. Already you all have studied in class 12th standard, but for the basic thing that I am going to discuss here, if delta H naught of R is greater than 0, then this reaction will be, my dear student, endothermic reaction. Okay? Endothermic reaction. This is the basic things that you need to keep in your mind for the calculation. Okay, now understand one thing, what's happening here. We have to focus on the energy balance part. How? Because all the thing is basic thing. Now try to understand how we are taking, how this reaction is taking place here. If Cp of A is the heat capacity of reactant A, and here I am assuming Cp of B is the heat capacity of product B. Okay, that you have to understand. Now, how the energy balance is taking place here, my dear friend, try to understand one thing. If there is a steam jacket from which you are supplying a Q, like heat you are supplying, this is not an adiabatic process, that's why you are supplying heat for to take the reaction takes place. Okay, here, so you can understand Q is taking place, you are supplying Q, okay, for the process of the reaction. Means if the reaction is taking place at a particular temperature, then you need to supply the that much amount of energy to attain that particular temperature. Now try to understand how the reaction is taking, how the energy balance. So apply energy balance here, that's a major important thing. Applying the energy balance. How? Because this is the reactant and here the energy is going to be enter. So what you have to do, that energy of inlet is Fi naught Cp of A, because only reactant will be going to enter. So there won't be any product at the inlet condition. That's why only we will be taking Fi naught of Cp of A, and what T naught minus T. That's major thing that you need to keep in your mind. T naught is inlet temperature and T is the temperature inside the reactor as well as the temperature at the outlet condition, plus minus of delta H naught of R, means enthalpy of reaction, standard enthalpy of reaction. Okay, here I am writing into Fa naught Xa. Why I am writing in this way, I will tell you later, just try to understand. Plus minus Q plus W, that is equals to 0. My dear student, this is our basic derivation for continuous stirred tank reactor, that you have to understand. Why we are writing in this way, try to understand. This is the energy in, and this is enthalpy change due to reaction. Now try to understand. The unit of these things used to be in joule per mole. Means if 1 mole of A is getting converted into product, means if 1 mole of A is getting converted into product, then delta H naught of R amount of energy will get exchanged. So if Fa naught Xa amount of reactant is getting converted into product B, then how much amount of energy that is going to be converted, that is going to be required, that is equals to delta H naught of R into Fa naught Xa. I think it's very clear to all of you. Now, my dear student, I am not taken. There is an outlet energy, because you will tell me, you will think that there is some part of reactant that is going to be outlet, because this is continuous stirred tank reactor. There must be continuous inlet and continuously outlet of the product. Okay, so here why I am not taking the energy regarding of the product? Why? Because the process variable, because it is a continuous stirred tank reactor, and process variable inside the reactor, that is equals to same as the outside. So if you will be out for the outside, here I am writing, here you will see Fi Cp of I, for outlet I am writing, so T minus T, because this is continuous stirred tank reactor, so this will be equals to 0. Okay, this will be equals to 0. That's why there won't be any outlet energy term, because there is a T minus T reference temperature, and the outlet temperature is same. That's why this term will become 0 and this will become to 0. That's why I have not taken the outlet energy in this particular derivation. Now you will think about this term Q. What is the value of Q? That you need to focus. If you are supplying the energy, then you have to take the amount. This is Q. plus. If you are extracting the energy, then you have to take the sign is minus. Okay. Now here I have written is W. W I am just writing here what is the significance of the W. Then will you able to understand. The significance of W is nothing. Generally, it is taken for it is used for the shaft work. What I have taken here, that is a Q. Q is equals to, my dear student, UA Tc minus T, where U is overall heat transfer coefficient. U is overall heat coefficient, and Tc is temperature of, generally we will be using process fluid as steam at inlet of coil. I think up to this you all have clear now. What is the sign? A is heat transfer area. A is if you have studied the heat transfer, then definitely you will be understanding what is the significance of E, what is the significance of U, all these things. So you don't have to indulge so much mind. So what I have told you here, where W is equals to shaft work. If nothing is given, then shaft work, that you have to understand is it is zero, shaft work. And if shaft work is given, then you have to assume it always in positive. In 1993 or 1994, GATE has asked a question on the shaft work. They have given also the shaft work. So there you need to take the shaft work also, but it will be always positive, I think. Okay. Now I think what we are doing here, generally there is a inlet energy inlet minus energy out plus energy generation or consumption, energy generation or consumption, okay, plus W shaft, that is equals to 0. Generally we are assuming the process is happening in the steady state, that's why the outlet term, the accumulation term will be equals to 0, because the total amount of energy in, that is equals to total amount of energy out. I think this is very clear to all of you now. How the question is going to be asked, just try to understand, my dear friend. It's a very simple thing. If you understand the basic, then definitely you will be able to solve each and every question regarding the energy balance in continuous state tank reactor. It's a very simple thing. Just try to understand how we use. If they are going to give you, there is a continuous state tank reactor. If this is inlet, this is outlet. Generally they will be giving you to calculate the outlet temperature, and outlet temperature will be this temperature also. If the reaction A is going to take place in B, if the rate constant of this reaction is K, try to understand how we used to calculate the outlet temperature. So if what you have to write, Fi naught Cp of A, here this is our T naught and this is our T also. Okay? So just try to understand T naught minus T plus minus of delta H naught of R into Fa naught Xa. Here I am assuming the shaft work is also 0 and the process is adiabatic, means you don't have to supply the energy from the outside source. Okay, so here I am assuming the process is adiabatic. So Q will be also equals to 0 and W shaft I am assuming it here is 0. W shaft is 0. So these two terms will be equals to 0, then it will be equals to 0. I think it's very clear to all of you now. Try to understand what's happening. Now we have to calculate the value of this T only, because our desired output is T. So what you have to do, So just this is now mathematical operation, nothing has left in this derivation part. T naught minus T, that is equals to minus of minus delta of H naught of R F A naught X A. Now what you have to calculate is T naught T. So if you will calculate T naught minus T, that is equals to minus of minus delta of H naught of R F A naught X A upon F I naught C P of A, because only reactant is here only A. This is a unimolecular reaction. Will tell you for the bimolecular reaction also, but try to understand first for the unimolecular reaction. The process will be same for the bimolecular reaction also. Only the basic will be same. Now, what will be the value of T? T is our outlet temperature, that is equals to T naught plus delta of H naught of R, and here the sign will be always minus F A naught X A upon F I naught C P. Here you can write it also F I naught, because here I am writing, because F A naught is equals to F I naught only for in this particular case, because here only there is a reactant A and this will be also a limiting reagent. That's why here F A naught is equals to F I naught. If the reaction will be the bimolecular reaction, my dear student, then in that case F I naught and F A naught will be different. Okay, we'll tell you later. But here what you need to understand is F A naught is equals to F I naught, because there is only one reactant and the reactant will be also as the limiting agent. That's why. So now understand one thing. You have got this derivation, T is equals to T naught plus delta H naught of what? F A naught of minus X A. This is the derivation part of this particular condition. Now try to understand, sometimes they used to give the graphical question, and so that you don't get stuck there. That's why I am discussing here also. So the basic formula that you have got is equals to T is equals to T naught plus minus of delta of H naught, enthalpy of reaction delta H naught of R F A naught X A upon this derivation is only applicable for only my dear student unimolecular reaction. If bimolecular reaction will be there, only this is applicable for A is getting converted into BK. Okay, now understand one thing. If the exothermic reaction, first case will be if reaction is exothermic, and my dear student, there must be another counterpart if the reaction is endothermic. Just try to understand how temperature is going to vary with the conversion. That's major concern here. If reaction is exothermic, then what will happen here? Delta of H naught of R of reaction, that will be always less than equals to 0. And if this is negative, that means it is negative. And if this is negative and here there is another negative term, negative becomes positive. So if you will draw the graph here, then the graph will be varying in this way. So basic things, if you know the basics of mathematics, then definitely you will be able to identify this graph. If just try to understand this, minus negative will become positive, and here what will happen? If you are drawing on the x-axis, this is XA, and this is our outlet temperature T. This is our outlet temperature T. Then what will happen? At x is equals to 0, T is equals to T naught. Here there will be a T naught, that is the inlet temperature, and as we increase the conversion, as the conversion will increase, the outlet temperature will be increasing. So this will be the graph of our which reaction, if the reaction is taking place in adiabatic CSTR, adiabatic CSTR. This is the reaction for adiabatic CSTR. Just try to understand one thing, and here the slope will be minus of delta of H naught of R into FA naught upon FA naught CPI. So there are so many types of questions that GATE can be asked. Either if they has given the slope, then they will be telling you another parameter. I think you all are dexterous to calculate all these things if some data is given. Now, if the reaction is endothermic, so what will happen? Delta of H naught of R, that will be greater than equals to 0. That means that is the positive. So here what will happen? Minus and plus. That will be equals to minus. So the graph will be varying in another way. So if you will draw the graph of outlet temperature versus conversion, my dear student, so you will be getting a curve of like this, a straight line curve for adiabatic reactor. I am again telling you, this is inlet temperature T naught, and here the slope will be negative. Why? Because this is our endothermic reaction. As the reaction will progress, the conversion will take place from reactant to product. Then what will happen? The temperature, outlet temperature of the product will be continuously decreasing. Okay. So this is the graphical part of the continuous state tank reactor. I have tried my best to give you the basics of the continuous state tank reactor in this lecture. From the graphically as well as the various parameters. Okay, in the my next lecture I will be discussing some different parameters of continuous state tank reactor. If the reaction taking place in the CSTR is a biomolecular reaction, then how? Or if the enthalpy of reaction is a function of temperature, then definitely what will happen, my dear student? The reaction temperature is going to be changed. Then if enthalpy of reaction is a function of temperature, then what will happen? Again you have to calculate the enthalpy at that particular temperature, and then you have to calculate the outlet temperature. So in the next lecture I will be discussing all these things. So here what you have to do, you have to just try to understand the basics formula and basics things how the graph is going to vary here. Okay, so I think you all are doing well during this current time. So just try to stick in this video, go from starting to the last, then definitely you will be able to understand the basic concept. Okay, thank you.